Hello and welcome to this ScreenFlow demonstration on how to assign ownership of employees and forms. And in addition to that, also want to demonstrate how to go about assigning forms that need to be completed by different employees. So we're already logged into the system. So the first thing that we're actually going to do here is we're going to look at ownership of employees and forms. All of that is contained in the system management area. So you'll simply click on the system management, and then based upon your level of approval, you're going to have some icons that display. Now typically this function is only going to be something for system administrators. So if you're not a system administrator, chances are you will not have the ability to do ownership of records. So in the user management section, you will see all of the people that you have ownership of. As the sysadmin, if you'll come up to the user management in the toolbar, you'll see that there's a user ownership icon, that little red box. If you'll click on that, you're going to get a two-window system. What's great about this is you have the owner on one side and the records on the other. So one of the great things about the Talks to Grow system is that the records always stay with the employee. So if the owner changes, if a new manager comes in or something like that, the records always stay with that employee, so they can always see those particular records for that particular employee. So let's just say in this case, let's go ahead and click on Marshall Test. Now in this particular scenario over here, this is the owner, and you can see all of the records that are owned by Marshall Test. So if we wanted to assign Amy Smith and Demo 1 to Marshall Test, all we would need to do is check both of those items, and now Marshall Test is the owner of both of these records. One thing to note is there can only be one owner of records, so the most current person that you've assigned ownership to is the one that will have ownership of that particular record. So that's how you assign ownership, and now Marshall would have access to all the history, all the information, and all the forms that need to be performed on these two particular employees. Another function of the system administrator is the ability to assign forms that have to be completed. So if you have forms, let's just say evaluation forms that are due for a particular employee at a particular time, as the system administrator, you can go into Talks to Grow Forms area, and you'll once again see different icons. But here you see one that says Form Assignment. If you'll select the Form Assignment icon, in the window pane over on this side of your screen, you're going to have all of the forms that are available to your company. So there could literally be, a lot of forms over here, or just a few. It just depends on how many forms are actually available to your company. So when you select a form, all of the employees are going to pop up over on the assignment side. So let's just say we want to assign this Talks to Grow form to Marshall Test, the person that we just dealt with over there in the other one. Select Marshall Test, and you're going to come in and you're going to pick the date that it's due. So let's just say this is due January 31st. Do you want this to repeat? So if this is going to be twice a year, we can set this to repeat. Let's just make it easy at 180 days. And then when you check this box, it's going to assign this form to Marshall Test. And when Marshall logs into the system, he will see that he has forms assigned to him. Check that, hit update. We have now assigned that form to Marshall Test. Another thing to note here, it's very, very important. If you have a situation where employees and managers are both contributing to a form, then the employee must start the form. So the form would have to be assigned to the employee, and the employee must start filling out the form before the manager begins putting comments on it. If the manager were to just select and start performing a particular form on an employee, the employee would not be able to view that particular form. So it has to be started at the level beneath the supervisor in order for the employee to be able to see it and for the supervisor to contribute and make comments on it. So in this particular case, once again, we've already added this form to Marshall, and it will now show up in his inbox when he logs in to Talks to Grow, and he will know that he has to do that particular form. So if you have any questions about assigning forms or ownership I encourage you to reach out and contact me, Trey Baker. I can be reached at email@treybaker.com, email@treybaker.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Thanks.